from PRX.
Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for the podcaster who's here to keep you company and take your mind off of stuff and take you to a world where there's a traveling tea shop with this amazing crossover we're doing, and I'll have more details towards the end of the intro. But I'm really excited to keep you company and take your mind off stuff. If you're new, by the way, welcome to Sleep With Me. This is a podcast that's here to put you to sleep, keep you company, take your mind off of stuff so you can fall asleep. It is a very different show, so if you've never listened before, I'm really glad you're here, and I really do hope I can help you out. And I'll kind of explain everything during the intro coming up in a few minutes. But this is a show you want to give a few tries. It's a little bit different than something meant to lull you to sleep, though this show is lulling and soothing in its own way. But it's also like a friend to be with you and keep you company and distract you from whatever's keeping you awake so you could fall asleep. So I'm glad you're here. What we got coming up is support. That's optional for new listeners or occasional listeners. It's really for the people that listen all the time to the show. Then after the support will be a long, meandering intro. And that's designed to ease you into bedtime and help you wind down. And then later on, we're going to have an amazing crossover episode with Miss Shipton's traveling tea shop. So that's going to be exciting and lulling and soothing. What could be? There's going to be meowing and discussions about tea and tea making and other things. So it'll be nice. So I'm really glad you're here. And if you're new, welcome. If you come listen to the show time to time, I'm hoping I can be here to help you. And if you're a regular listener, you know I'm here to also bring you sleepy joy and delight. And if you listen, multiple times, the only way I do that is when listeners like you participate in the show and are a part of this thing we're doing here. And if that's you, here's the ways you could support the show, either through the sponsors or directly. All right, everybody, it's time to talk about tonight's sponsor, Helix. And you know where I was last night? So comfortable, and this morning, and I didn't want to get out of bed because I was so cozy, so comfortable. Yeah, of course, I was in my Helix mattress. And the amazing thing about my Helix is it fits my needs, my sleep preferences, how I like to feel in bed, because I took the quiz over at helixsleep.com/sleep, and I got matched with a mattress. So of all the features I need to sleep cool and comfortable, all the support I need for when I'm sleeping on my side, when I'm sleeping on my stomach, to take good care of my back, and so I get a great night's sleep, and then I'm so comfortable. I'd like to take the day off and spend it in bed, especially on these cool winter nights. Holy moly. But what about you and your mattress? Do you think it's time for an upgrade to a mattress that gets you and what you need? What's going to make you comfortable? I think you deserve that, right? And you could take that Helix quiz. It matches you with the perfect mattress based on your personal preferences and sleep needs. It makes buying a mattress easy, and you do it in the comfort of your own home. And there's free shipping in the U.S. It comes straight to your door. And what an upgrade it's been, because I had to temporarily sleep on a mattress that was not a Helix. And now I look forward to going to bed every night, to getting cozy, pulling those blankets in and snuggling down in my Helix. I'm going to be comfortable all night long. So what about you? How about you take that quiz and you see what discount Helix has to offer right now? Go to helixsleep.com/sleep to see the latest offers for Sleep With Me listeners. That's helixsleep.com/sleep for current offers. Make sure you enter our show name after checkout so they know we sent you. That's helixsleep.com/sleep. Sleep With Me podcast is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states. Hey everybody, this is Scooter. We're playing a new board game. Gene, take it away. Thanks, Scooter. We're playing Don't Support the Show. And this is not even though it's fun, Scooter, it's not ironic, is it? Gene, I've tried to, neither one of us, I think, has a grasp of that word, but you may be correct because it's actually paradoxical, Make It a Sleep podcast, and that's why we're doing this. Now you got two words you don't know, Scooter. Tonight's winner is people that listen in the most average way. The average listener, Scooter, but no one's average here. Thanks, Gene, for pointing that out. It is true, but there is a average listening style. And those are people that wind down during the intro, fall asleep during the episode. You listen to 1 or 2 episodes a week. The episode stops at the end of the episode, or you have a sleep timer set, and you listen, for a couple months at a time, and you realize, hey, I like the ads. I don't mind the ads, or the ads are necessary. And that's how most people listen, right? And the sponsors and the listener support has you covered. If you only listen to a couple of episodes a week while you're going through a tough time, you wind down during the intro, and then you fall asleep during the story, and the episode ends, and at some point you're asleep or you're comforted or you get what you need, and you listen to whatever, like 10, 12, 20, 30 episodes a year. You don't need to support the show. Sorry, I went into Gene, I was doing an imitate. Thank you, Scooter. They already won. The show's here for them. They don't need to support the show. The sponsors and the listeners do it for them. Yeah, so you're in a group. You don't really need to support the show. You could if you choose, and you'll hear more about it, but you don't need to. And when you hear me with some intensity trying to get through to listeners to support the show, you're not one of the groups I'm trying to get a hold of. But thanks for listening. And the reason we're doing this in fun and then more calm terms, other parts of the show, is so you know you're welcome here, that it's good news. It's good you're here. I'm here to bring you sleepy joy, comfort, and delight in the deep, dark night. And I'm trying to mix up and change up what I'm doing so I can remind you I'm glad you're here. Thanks, Gene. Thanks, everybody. I love making the show for you. And people love supporting it for not just their style listening, but your style listening too. Your comfort in the deep, dark night. Thanks. Oh, Mystery Bard. A lot of people help out on our show. Who are they?
Posty poster son sounds like an earful. Wrote the theme song. Edits episodes. Carl W. the legend. Also edits episodes. Ashley, Kenny, Scotty, Jennifer. Runner. Eric and the team at Astound are on the website. I am the Mystery Bard. I do the lullabies, yeah. I do commissions at jonathanmann.net. I'll write a song for you. Any reason at all. You can tell me the story and I'll make it personal. You see the kindness shine straight on through when the listeners form their own Facebook group. Keith, Stacy, Sarah, Julie, and Jennifer. These are your moderators. Get support, dear Scooter, on Patreon. Buy the merch and support the sponsors. You can find anything you want at sleepwithmepodcast.com. And we're so proud that we could dance. Rusty Biscuit, Lois, Anna like banana. Leah does the transcript.
Thanks, Mystery Bard. And like for people that, I've been saying don't support the show directly. One of the ways you could support the show is letting people know about the podcast or signing up for a referral newsletter. If we get enough people interested, we'll start doing fun live streams or something like that. And you could sign up at sleepwithmepodcast.com/refer. That's sleepwithmepodcast.com/REFER. Thanks, everybody. And what do you say we get on with the show? Hey, are you up all night tossing, turning, mind racing, trouble getting to sleep, trouble staying asleep? Well, welcome. This is Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. We do it with a bedtime story. All you need to do is get in bed, turn out the lights, and press play. I'm going to do the rest. What I'm going to attempt to do is create a safe place where you could set aside whatever's keeping you awake. That could be thoughts on your mind, like the thoughts that you're thinking about the past, present, the future, thoughts that are just coming up. It could be feelings, anything coming up for you emotionally. related to those thoughts or feelings that are just there. It could be physical sensations, changes in time, temperature, routine. You could be going through something. You might be getting over something. You might be in the middle of something, traveling. Maybe you have guests. Maybe you work a different schedule. Whatever it is, I'm glad you're here, and I really do hope I can help you out. The only reason I list some of that stuff is so you know you're not alone. Or at least, maybe you don't have to know. I always say that, but I don't mean, it's a little too direct, you know? What I mean is that you don't, how do I put it? I think if you're here, maybe you could relate. I don't like people telling me, oh, you know you're not alone, even though I say it in the intro. Just because sometimes I can be too efficient with my words. But it's also, I'm trying to explain a confusing concept in a straightforward way. Like, this is a rare thing where you get to hang out with a bunch of people, but you don't have to be around them. And you can hang out in your own way, or you could do, like, this is a podcast where parallel play or tangential play or playing with parallelograms. How about parallel? I was trying to think. I thought maybe it'd be a little if I said ballet and parallelogram, but that's just more as hard to say. Parasol. What about a parasol that's a parallelogram? That's a start of a tongue twister. Polar. So sometimes in the middle of trying to introduce the podcast, I get distracted by things in my brain. Right now, it's like, I guess here's a question I've never had answered that hopefully I'll get answered after this episode. What's the ideal number of words in a, what's the thing called? Tongue twister. Susie sells seashells by the seashore. I mean, depending on your definition of words, it's either 8 words or 7 words. So we have parallelogram, polar. What was the other word? Oh, parasol, Paris. There's another one. So we're only we're only a few words short. Pierre, Pierre and Penelope. Okay, so we have Pierre and Penelope, Paris, parasol. Okay, Paris and parasol, polar parasols in Paris, parasols in polar parasols in Paris, parallelograms. We just need something that means shaped. Produce, polar parasols, parallelogram parasols in Paris. Probably no. We need something for portholes. Portholes. Port of Paris. Those are too short. What's that stuff called? Plaster Paris. That's an L. There's another word. I can't say that one. Paradoxically, pronouncing Pierre and Poland. Poland's a good one. Polish, polar, parasol, parallelogram parasols. Produce Polish, polar, parallelogram parasols. Porthole would be a good one in there. Portent doesn't make any sense. I don't know if any portents potentially produce maybe the wrong word, but I can't think of what they'd be doing with the parasols. So I'm sure there's listeners listening saying, well, one, new listeners are like, what happened? I thought this was a sleep podcast. Regular listeners are like, Scoots, there's like 10 words that you're not thinking of. Yeah. Well, by the way, I'm glad you're here. This is how we get to hang out together. This is the interactive part of the show. It's indirectly interactive. Igor, Igor iterates interactive. For me, I'd say it was like another word. Is idiosyncratic. Idiosyncratically. So, okay, so we have two potential. Someone please remind me. We got a couple potential. Maybe we could get back to that. I think we maybe did it once upon a time. The tongue twister of the month. Unfortunately, when I'm recording this, it's in February. This episode's supposed to come out in March, I believe. So we got some potential there. There's also like poetic language in this episode coming up that I did offer some challenges when I'm trying to maintain the great writing, but also sleepified and manage my my learning differences. So did my best there, just like I do my best to try to remember vocabulary words. Anyway, though, what I'm really here to do is do my best to help you fall asleep, because I've been there and a lot of other listeners have been there. And some of those other listeners somewhere in the world have been in a place pretty close to whatever brought you here. And whatever it feels like for you, believe it or not, there's at least one person listening right now who really gets what brought you here and what it feels like and the challenges it offers that we're all so grateful for. But they're grateful in a sense that you're here because they get to offer you this warmth, this just smile, or maybe they're in bed, or maybe they're doodling or looking out the window, and they're thinking of you in a fond way. They don't know you, but they do know what it feels like for you in the deep, dark night. And they're sending their goodness across the deep, dark night to you. And you don't even have to receive it. Like, you can just be aware it's out there for you. And that you're somewhat understood here, and that you're welcome here. So that's really why I make the show, is not only I've been there, but all these other listeners have been there. And we all come at it from a slightly different angle. Just like those polar parallelogram parasols, parentally? No. Potential. Potential's hard to say with those other words. Got a potential parallelogram tongue twister. I mean, when did tongue twisters, it seems like, I mean, again, there's probably a subculture I'm unaware of, which that's cool. But there's, and maybe I should do an episode about it, but I mean, I definitely should do an episode about it. So I have to remember that. Because it's like we never reached, I don't know if as a planet, I mean, maybe we did reach like what do they call it? Peak tongue twister. It seems like we got to like 15 tongue twisters and people are like, yeah, that's good enough. And then over time it became like, or I guess you should say in my world, which is the world I live in, that it became 4 or 5. These are the essential tongue twisters that are going to, become memed in our memory, or whatever you want to call it, archetypal. I see, wait a second, how come there wasn't like 1001 amazing tongue twist? I mean, people keep telling me to write a book about sleep. Maybe I should just write that book. 1001, I guess you say probably better off. How many letters are there in the alphabet? 26, 27, 40? I don't know. Probably be enough with that. But maybe I could co-write it with like Eminem or somebody. I don't think that would happen, but to be a good writing partner for tongue twisters. Any hip-hop artists that likes wordplay. So anybody out there, I mean, all like, just an idea that struck me after 10 tangents. So I got to move on with this intro. So I'm glad you're here, and I really hope I can help you fall asleep, because you deserve a good night's sleep. The way I try to do it is I send my voice across the deep, dark night. I use lulling, soothing, creaky dulcet tones, pointless meanders, and superfluous tangents. So I go off topic. I get mixed up. I forget what I was talking about. Then I go, I mean, we just witnessed it. And honestly, that's how it happens organically. When I started recording this, I had no tangents in mind. And I was honestly like, maybe this will be a straightforward, this is not fluff. I was like, I don't have any tangents. I'm pretty tired. Maybe this will be a straightforward intro. I didn't even see any tangents on the horizon. And that's when the best tangents seem to come. I just got to trust the tangent, man. Trust tangerine tangent. That was never was that ever a tongue twister? Okay, so what I do is I send my voice across the deep, dark night. He's lulling, soothing, creaky, dulcet tones, pointless meanders, superfluous tangents. We talked about that. My voice is not traditionally soothing. And this is a podcast that not everybody likes and doesn't work for everybody. So if you're new here, just give it a few tries. There's no pressure to like this show or to like me. It's a unique show, but it is good-natured in the sense that I want to help you out if I can. So, and if you get here and you're skeptical or doubtful, and then as you listen, you become more skeptical and doubtful, that's actually like a healthy way to approach it, and it makes a lot of sense. Like you got here with expectations of what a sleep podcast would be, and so far I may be defying expectations, but not in the flat. You know, we can agree. Say, well, you're not exactly defying expectations, like and I say, yeah, no, I get it, and don't worry. So if you give the show a few tries. See how it goes. That's what most regular listeners' experience was. They were doubtful. They were skeptical. They were annoyed. Then they gave it a second try, and they said, wait a second. This is kind of good-natured and silly and somewhat fun. I guess he means what he says. He is full of pointless meanders and superfluous tangents. And then the third time, they just fell asleep or drifted off, or at least felt comforted or some sleepy joy and delight that I'm supposed to provide in the deep, dark night. So just see how it goes. If at some point or right now you already know it's not a match, or you listen 2 or 3 times and you're like, no, I don't ever want to listen to the show again, totally fine. Not only is it totally fine, I have a website set up for you. sleepwithmepodcast.com/no thank you. And that has other sleepy stuff on there, and like other sleep podcasts and other sleep audio to help you fall asleep. So just see how it goes, or check it out now. If it's not a fit, that's totally fine. This is also a podcast you don't really listen to, or you kind of can listen, like a TV on in the other room, a show streaming under your pillow, a roommate that is talking that you don't really pay attention to, or a friend, whether they're on the phone or they're, FaceTiming you, and you're like, okay, just tell me about, whatever, the book you're reading, but you're not, it's more for a purpose to take your mind off stuff, to give you some ease and comfort so you could fall asleep, or at least to feel like there's someone out there that's there for you, and they don't need your attention. They're just there to keep you company. And ideally you fall asleep, or at least you feel distracted. So, it does take some getting used to. It's almost like an out of focus picture or sand passing through your hands. This is also a sleep podcast. It's not here to put you to sleep. There's no pressure to fall asleep with this show. There's a reason the episodes are over an hour, and that's so you don't have to worry about it. There's people listening who can't sleep at all, people who need a break during the day, people who need something to listen to at work, people that wake up in the middle of the night. And I'm here to keep you company whether you're awake or asleep. The people who can't sleep at all, I'm here on the show to the very end to do my job. And that's not to put you to sleep. It's to be here for you, and maybe, or ideally, you fall asleep at some point. But even if you don't, you're hanging out with your boar friend, your boar bay, your boar sib, your boar bud, your neighbor, your boar bee, your boarman, your Boris Borloff, your chairman of the boards, your neighbor, did I already say that? Your best boar friend forever, who's here to hang out with you. And be somewhat whatever's like mild or mid humor. His humor's not mid or mild, but be the only way to describe it. He's my boar friend. So I'm just here to keep you company and take your mind off of stuff. The only other thing I like to explain is the structure of the show. We structured the show over the 13 years we made it. It's been pretty consistent. In a way that benefits the maximum amount of people that could benefit from the show. And that's, we start off with a greeting. Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. So you feel seen and welcomed in, and you say, okay, I could check that show out. Then there's support so that paying for the show is optional, and so that people who can't afford to support the show, people that are new, or people that only listen once in a while, you don't have to worry about paying for the show. Ideally, in a perfect world, this show flourishes because the people that listen nightly support the show or support our sponsors. So then after the support is a long meandering intro, totally separate from the support. The new people or people that, might, like, it's easy to think, oh, it's all part of one thing. But the intro is a show within a show. Takes 15 to 20 minutes for me to introduce a sleep podcast. And yeah, it could take me 30 seconds, or I could do the same intro over and over, or a scripted intro. But I do follow a familiar structure with every intro, but I go off topic about something new every time. I mean, I don't know if parasols and parallelograms have ever come up together in the same sentence. I don't want to brag, but maybe not even on planet Earth, this would be confusing to even AI. They'd say, I think this human's having some sort of, and I say, yeah, no, it is my programming. I guess I'm lucky that I can go on a tangent about that, and that it has a purpose, which is help people out and take their mind off of stuff. But the intro also has a purpose, so it's familiar, but it's new every time, which in my experience, there is some combination of those things that's important. Some reassurance, something you say, oh, okay, I know what it's going to be like, but that's always got variety, because repetition does not, it's something that whatever keeps me awake just points out. So that's why every intro is new. But the reason the intros are 15 to 20 plus minutes long is to ease you into bedtime. So most people don't fall asleep during the intros. If you do fall asleep fast, please consider supporting the show. It's a paradox, but please. But most listeners are in bed getting comfortable. They're winding down. They're getting ready for bed. They're chilling out. They're doing some other relaxing activity while they listen to the intro to get eased into bedtime as a part of a wind down routine and a buffer between being awake and asleep. That's what works for me personally. What I've seen studies say works is having that, a nice way to gently go to bed. And the intro's a part of that. If you find that you don't like the intros at all, there is a story-only version of the show on Sleep With Me Plus and in every podcast app paying for it's optional called Bedtime Stories from Sleep With Me, where you could find just the story versions of this podcast without the intros. But the intro is like our hang time. It's kind of like a sleepover, like before you fall asleep part, but after the part where there's no excitement either, like the lull before, the lull after the sleepover storm, a storm of joy in a sleepover sense. or giggling or whatever it is. So, yeah, that's what the intro does. Then after the intro will be support. Then after the support will be our crossover episode with Miss Shipton's Traveling Tea Shop. And, yeah, all told, we'll be here like about an hour. I'm really glad you came by if you're new, or you're coming back if you're a regular listener, or you're visiting if you listen just when you're going through stuff. I really hope not only can I help, but we yearn and strive, not just myself, everybody that works on the show, not just to help you fall asleep, but to bring some sleepy joy and delight into your life. And if this show does bring that to your life on a regular basis, and it's changed your life for the better, please consider supporting one of these sponsors or supporting the show directly. Otherwise, no worries at all. Thanks. Hey, everybody, this is Scoots. So this is a crossover episode that I'm really excited to bring to you. And it's made possible by Local Files Club and my friend Adam, and then my friend Oliver at Scotty's Symphony. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about all that stuff right now. So Local Files Club is a digital label for audio fiction, and it's a new idea. It's similar to podcasts, but like when you hear me talk about, man, it's tough making sleep with me sometimes. It's really tough making audio fiction. So what Local Files Club does is publish short-form experimental audio fiction, and those projects are available for one-time purchase. So it's inspired by physical media like DVDs and Blu-rays. So the shows come out with bonus features like commentary tracks, original soundtracks, art books, and more. And the goal over at Local Files Club is to build an alternative model for audio fiction shows that a lot of love and work goes into, right? But otherwise would get lost inside a podcast app, or really difficult to monetize and make work through advertising or membership programs because they're kind of limited releases. And straight from Local Files Club, it's a tough time for podcasts out there. Celebrity-driven chat shows are what are attracting all the attention and the advertising and a lot of the funds. Local Files Club is looking to bring attention to audio art and remind audiences why audio is such a captivating medium for storytelling, all while making a sustainable business model for creators that don't get funded well by Spotify or YouTube or other big tech platforms. And you can find out more at localfiles.club. And that's a URL, localfiles.club, and the links will be in the show notes. Now, Miss Shipton, which I may sometimes say Mrs. Shipton, Miss Shipton's Traveling Tea Shop is the first release from Local Files Club, debuting last fall. It was created by Scotty's Symphony, the same people behind the podcast Kane and Fields. It's a very cozy listen about a TWITCH, rhymes with sandwich, whose van breaks down in the English countryside. As she waits for her van to be repaired, Miss Shipton sets up shop and meets the locals, a farmer, a publican, or publican, I'm not sure, like I always get somebody that runs a pub, and a priest, exploring themes of loneliness, companionship, and queerness through 5 vignettes. It's really beautiful, calm listening with lots of lovely sound effects and a stunning soundtrack. And here's the thing, if you buy the show, it comes with the full original soundtrack, plus a bonus poem, 5 commentary episodes, and an illustrated zine. And now there'll be like a super deluxe version of this episode we're doing, as well as an extended release of this episode. So you get even more when you support it. And you can find it at localfiles.club or head over to Bandcamp, localfilesclub.bandcamp.com. Thanks, everybody. All right, everybody, it's time to talk about tonight's sponsor, Zocdoc. You know that feeling when you walk out of a doctor's office and you think, wow, it feels so much better now. They really listened to me. They really explained to me what was going on. I felt heard. I felt seen. The right doctor can make you feel lighter, clearer, gives you hope everything's going to be all right. And I had that kind of relationship with my doctor in California. I felt like he listened to me. It felt like he took his time with me. But unfortunately, I moved all the way across the country. I'm in a whole new system now. But guess what? You can find those kind of doctors that make you feel good, that really listen on Zocdoc. Zocdoc is a free app and website that helps you find and book high-quality in-network doctors so you can find someone you love. We're talking about booking in-network appointments with over 150,000 providers across all 50 states. Whether you're looking for dermatology, dentistry, primary care, eye care, or one of the other 200-plus specialties offered on Zocdoc, you could easily search for specialty or symptom to build the care team that's right for you. View thousands of verified patient reviews to give you a real sense of who your doctor is. Maybe they don't like small talk, or maybe you root for the same sports team. Whatever it is, you can feel confident that you can book with a doctor you know you'll love. And here's the thing I'm finding here of why Zocdoc is so much better, because the doctors on Zocdoc are available. Every time I ask somebody in person here about their primary care physician or their dentist, they say, oh, they're not taking new patients. But with Zocdoc, I don't have to worry about that feeling. I can find a doctor I like, and then I can book an appointment with them. And that's one of the reasons I love Zocdoc, and you should check it out, too. Stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to Zocdoc.com/sleep to find and instantly book a doctor you love today. That's ZocDoc.com/sleep. Zocdoc.com/sleep. Thanks, Zocdoc, for sponsoring this message. Episode 1, My Surrey. And this opens in the interior of a VW camper on the road. Our home is always rolling on. Up hills, through trees we move along. We're headed forward all day long. To see the sights, we stop near rivers, lakes, and ponds, and brave the night. Sometimes we touch humanity, and then we sell them cups of tea. Between the water and the leaves, they take a break, and then my cauldron keeper rolls up her sleeves. Ever heard of a cauldron of tea? Maybe tonight you will. To soothe the ache, the camper van we call our home. It makes lovely noises on the road. And those noises could also be a metaphor for how all of us feel on the inside sometimes. Sometimes frowny, and then sometimes the engine sings. And this is where our little ode can now begin. Meow. I know, miss. But we need to find a place to have, where we could, investigate the VW and, give it, take good care of it before the time where it's necessary that we take good care of it comes up. There's enough soul left in her to carry us along a little further. Do you see it, Miss Surrey? Meow. Have you spotted it yet? Why, yes, a village soon appears. The orange sun on golden ears of corn been torn from root by gears. The fields bare, the sense of summer disappears, and autumn's there. Meow. Exactly my thought, dear Miss Surrey. Let's find some old off-road and almost parked and... what's that sound? Is that the sound of an old reliable saying, we're done driving for the night? Well, I guess we found our camping spot. And this is where we should let you know. Scotty's Symphony presents Miss Shipton's Traveling Tea Shop, reinterpreted by Sleep With Me Podcast, Episode 1, Missouri. Meow. Good morning, dear Miss Surrey. I've had a poke about. You and I have woken in Talford, having traveled all night to a freshly cut field with our van facing westward. Now we're one turning off from a pub and a place of practicing belief systems, one more turning onto the orchard, and then one turning out of town. So, shorter than most, but longer than many. The pub looks nice. The 3 turns, biggish car park. The place where you practice belief systems has wisteria up its walls. Yeah, 3 weeks, I reckon, till it all, goes from bloomy bloom to your circle of life type stuff. Right. Perhaps you could do me a favor, Missouri. Not Missouri. Missouri, not Missouri. I don't know why I said that. I don't name you after a state in the States, but it just sounds like it when I said it there. But could you go out and give me a lay of the land? Meow. Oh, well, you do drive a hard bargain. It's a good thing I speak meow. Oh, did you hear that caw? Was that a magpie or a crow or a raven? Meow. Oh, thank you, okay, magpie. Thank you for confirming that. Did you like that sound over there? It's company to the tune of 1. Meow. Huh, you feeling something, Missouri? And so soon? You think you could find them? Meow. Wow, you're so clever. Cleverest cat, this side of my side, on all sides, Missouri. I don't know who I'd be, or how I'd be without you. Now I'm going to open a can here while I cook myself up some breakfast, too. A little tomato, a little bacon poo. And for you, fresh tuna from the can. There you are. I love that sound of your smack. Are those I always wonder if those are your lips smacking. It's just such a great sound. Yeah. Okay, don't talk with your mouth full or meow with your mouth full. I'll make an aside, though. So I'm not eating in this moment. I'm just talking to you. I'd say to marriage it needs, 'cause I needs her and she needs me. I needs her for foods and waters, and she needs me 'cause I bring glee. And though we've seen the world together, from mountains high and rivers deep, for the life of me, I still don't know why she named me Miss Zuri. Oh, are you calling someone, or are we transitioning to a new location? Why, yes, we are. My phone's ringing, and this is Camper Mechanics. Who's calling, please? Hi, is this my hero? What, you could, yeah, hardy har. What's she gotten to now? If by she, you mean the cottage, she's made it as far as Talford. Talford, by gum. Excellent news. How's the new flywheel? Very well. But detect a button there. Now the accelerator's gone. Well, it was bound to go sooner or later. Well, could you come out and have a look at it? Maybe fix it? I could. But if it's the accelerator, I have to get the parts special. How long will it be? Maybe probably 3 weeks. That's perfect. I know it's out of your way, but anything for the princess. You know that I like referring to me as a prince. I'm a keeper of cauldrons, not a princess, please. And I'm a mechanic. Don't change nought. Thank you, hero. Goodbye. Sip of tea and a light of a stick of refreshment. A place where they practice belief systems, a pub, an orchard. Suggests a mentor, a publican, and a farmer. I wonder who I'll meet first, miss. And now, perfect time for a transition. Because Scotty's Symphony presents Sleep With Me Podcast's interpretation of Miss Shipton's Traveling Tea Shop, Episode 2, Farmer. Mr. Farmer over yonder. Cultivated and cultivator. His face, he's got a furrowed brow that reminds me of thunder. He sees our pitch, ambles over on his tractor to face. He may have recently dug a ditch, but now he wants to speak or inquire about my cauldron keeper. All right, here we go. Charm offensive. Good morning. Morning. Nice day for it, isn't it? For what? Whatever you fancy, really. Can I help at all? You can't park there. Okay. Can't camp here either. Well, don't worry. I'm not doing either of those things. You're neither parked nor camping? No, sir. Then how come you're parked here in a camper van? You see, that's the rub. I'm actually stuck here. You're stuck? I am. Yes. It's not, not my greatest moment, but somewhat mostly out of my control. My accelerator broke last night, and this is where I trundled to. Yeah, right. No, correct, yes. I ain't technically got no rules about breaking down on my land. Prefer you didn't mind. Yeah, I'm sure, but here we are. Well, it's just the table. Oh, yes, and the parasol. Yes, thank you. They're not the accoutrement of a camping person, are they? Well, they could be, but in my case, they are vestiges of my business. You did not, in your calculations, take in the chalkboard sign here. Ta-da! Mrs. Shipton's Traveling Tea Shop. Yep, that's the one. Hello. Would you like a cuppa? I've got food and beverages and a professional cookery grade 3 certificates, so it's all legit. I've got a business license, and if you want to see it, I think I definitely don't approve of you running a business unsanctioned on my land. Well, how else am I going to get the cash to afford to move off of your land? I can't tell if I'm charmed by your persistence or annoyed by it. Well, how about you decide over a cup of tea? First one's on the house. I could do that. So what brings you around these parts? I don't know, really. I go where I'm needed. But I don't necessarily need to know where I'm going. In fact, if I knew where I was going, I wouldn't get there, Right. If I don't know where I'm going or why, I tend to get there quicker. Funny, I've lived here all my life, but I've never stopped to look at it from this direction before. The sound of me taking in the vista. Well, how long has this land been yours? My father, he went from this farmland to the big, larger, different farmland in the sky, metaphorically, I suppose, because I can't see any farmland up there. But, yeah, that must have been about nigh on 20 years now. Huh, right. You look young, though. Cheeky gets. I am young. 41 or thereabouts. I only come across as crusty. Oh, I'm sorry. It is what it is, really. I had someone who went, to some, not exactly, like maybe not a farm in the sky, but somewhere, in a realm beyond this one. I believe some people call them non-earthly realms, and they were very important to me. About the same time I was that age. But that was like 10, 11 years ago. Yeah, you're young in that experience of, saying goodbye to someone when they cross realms. It does get easier. Meow. No, now my experience. Is that your Moggy? Never seen him around here before. Ah, yes. His name is Missouri. He's a bit of a talking metaphor, if you will. Also figurative. Strikes a nice figure. Meow. Well, I see. Pleasure to meet you, Missouri. It's hard to say, but close enough. The state in the States is close enough. Missouri. So a lot of people think it's Missouri, but it's pronounced with a pause. Missouri. But sometimes I even struggle with it. But back to what what do you do differently from the way your dad used to do things? I don't really. He left pretty specific and solid instructions on how to run things. The rules, he called them, quote quotes. How to keep everyone that works here happy, those sort of things. Do the rules work? Some of the time, wisdom of your elders and all that. Though he's a little bit out of touch with modern farming methods. Most of the time, though, I do defer to Dad. Huh. Yeah, okay. Well, sorry, I'm just going through my catalog here, and I think I have just the brew for you. Oh, by the way, don't go in for any no grains, please. Builders will do me just fine. Oh, don't worry about it. This is not a green tea. You could still have it with milk, but it's a brew of new perspective. Oh, you mixed up a few tabs in there with my Tetleys? Well, it's a cauldron-based brew, but I claim no responsibility for any visions you may or may not have. Sorry, what kind of tea shop are you? Oh, the cauldron-based kind. I'm a keeper of cauldrons, obviously. And that comes with a lot of responsibility. Well, you didn't tell me you did just before that, but you didn't tell me you're a keeper of cauldrons. I thought you just used cauldrons for convenience or something. Well, if I told you I was a keeper of cauldrons, what would you done if I told you that right up front? As soon as I met you, I would have told you to get off my land. Well, you already tried that and it didn't work. I guess maybe you're under, there's something about my presence, my keeping of cauldrons that has your attention in a relaxed and focused way. That I'm maybe exerting some influence on you. Don't joke, please. That's not funny. Cauldron keepers are no laughing matter. There's a reason there's not around anymore. Well, here's something that will benefit you. Mixed in a brew, boil, and bubble, and stirred without trouble. In this cauldron here, just for you. And the first one is on the house. It won't blow your mind, simply broaden your horizons. I hope you don't mind, but I've been picking up nettles from around your crops, brewing it with Earl Grey, turning it counterclockwise on this lovely setup I have my cauldron on with 2 tea lights at right angles. It should taste like home, but different. Is this going to make me have to use the water closet right away? No. Just a normal standard usage of water closet, I promise. And I've also prepared myself a cup of the same thing, so we'll experience it together. I'm offering some clarity, nothing more. Wait, is this some sort of, you trying to get me to be a cauldron keeper or something? To join up, no, I'm not recruiting other cauldron keepers. All right, well, cheers. Yeah, this is, if only we could just sip in total silence, but I do like to mutter to myself as I sip, and say, it is a nice day for it. For what? For whatever you fancy, really. Yeah. When did you plant the orchard? About 20 years ago. I see it's beautiful. It is a handsome orchard, yes. Your tea shop, though. Yeah? You want me to tow you somewhere where you'll get some more customers? Oh, thank you. Another perfect time for an interlude as we introduce to you Scotty's Symphony presents Sleep With Me Podcast's interpretation of Miss Shipton's Traveling Tea Shop, Episode 3, Publishing. The runner, this is a word not in but a keeper of pubs will say, meow, meow. I'm sorry. I'm just a sleep podcast guy. I don't speak meow. But did you say you correcting my use of correction? Meow. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Business has been booming lately since the hefty relocation to a pair of parking spaces outside the pub. The farmer also gave her veg and other grub. From here, she's been brewing lots of tea for folks and asked for nuts, save for a small donation box. Outside her van, the stress is getting mighty strong. She needs a hand. You might hear when sun is setting, gentle hiccups from the cabin, as kettles and cups lay drying upon the rack a stubborn line, not worth crossing. Till teacup cracks. Just doing some washing of the dishes. Oh dear, I dropped a cup and it cracked. Gosh darn, shoot, and many other things. and I'm feeling feelings about it as well. Knockety knock, knock, knock. This is the keeper of pubs out here. Everything all right in there? Hello? Shooty shoot, shooty shoot, shooty shoot, shooty shoot. Hello. Can you hear me? You're not, you sound like, sounds like a teacup may have broken or something. And I'm taking a breath and I'm going outside. Hello, welcome to my traveling tea shop. Oh, it's you. It's me. Is everything all right? Better than all right, since a farmer came and plonked you down in my car park. Business has been booming. Well, as long as I'm not being a nuisance. As if. I was about to close for today, but I could probably manage one last brew. If it's for you, that is. Ah, spotted. Tell me, was it the short hair, the Doc Martens, or the Carabina? What? No. Would you like a cup of tea or... I'm only joking. Don't fret, lass. You're in safe hands. Now I'll take one of your special brews if you're making one. Oh, the special ones. Well, they take some time and energy. But I've got both for you. But I also need to get to know you better. To make it right. I see. Well, what do you want to know? I'm an open book. Okay, can I ask one I'm curious about? Go for it. How long have you lived openly? Lived openly as what? Oh, never mind. No, go ahead, spit it out. Say what you're going to say. No, I'm mistaken. I doubt you're mistaken. Oh, no, just not open. Yeah. There's not a lot of calls for crones anymore. Your official, you know what I'm saying, official cauldron keepers anymore. Yeah, right. Truth is, I'm surprised you're open and going out and about as you are, about being, sure, maybe a couple decades ago people would be okay, but, times have changed and people have soured a bit, you know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, like 3 villages over, they cracked a cauldron there. And not just in like a crack, like they cracked it into pieces. Wait, like an official sanctioned cauldron. These are almost impossible to get. I pretty much know everybody that's got an official sanctioned cauldron. Did I know her? A bright young soul she was too. Taught me the fundamentals of the craft, she did. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. With anything, be stern and not happy about it. That's what I am. Well, let's pause for a moment. I try to pause for a moment before reacting. My grandma taught me well. I called her Gran, at least, because that's what she was to me. There used to be queues all the way through the forest to get to her cottage. Then one day they just stopped coming. We started getting looks at the supermarket. Eventually, Gran just stayed home at the house all day and all nights. Well, I find that, I don't know if you could see how furrowed my brow is, love, about this kind of news and these changes in the world. But that's how I feel about it. Well, yeah, it's, let's have a comfort stick, and maybe a bit of music. Not to be rude, but I thought you said you were going to ask me some questions about me. Me. Now we're talking about you. I'm sorry. You caught me off guard. What do you mean? You're smiling at me. So I am. Wait a second. Could you stop with that? Well, I just are you like your blushing's encouraging me to jest. You know what? No, don't worry. I shall avert my eyes. Go on. Ask your question. Why are you continuing to smile at me? Because I like your spirit. You're a kind, sweet soul behind it. Behind it all. Yeah, behind it all. I'm sure you say that to every cauldron keeper you meet. Only the ones that I find make my tummy tingle, if you know what I mean. Well, I'll make your tea is brewed. May it tingle your tummy. Oh, and what have you brewed for me? Well, we've got some rose petals, a psalms, a sprig of forget-me-not. Forget you not. How could I, my dear? Wait a second. There's the scent coming off here. And the taste is delicious. You know, I could give you a kiss. I'm so overwhelmed with the tickling of it's tickling my lips. It's that good. Well, I mean, you may if you wanted to. May I? Well, I'll keep that in mind. Okay. Well, thanks for the brew. I got. I hate to have tickled tummy and tickled lips, and then make innuendos. But I got to be going. You should come by. Get off work at about past. That's half what? Half. We where I come from, the keepers of cultures we say half blank. Well, half blank then. I'll see you at half blank. Maybe we could share another drink then. Maybe we shall then. Until then, I bid you. I guess I do. Or don't. Anon? I don't. I guess I don't know. But good night. Or like I'll see. It'll be a good night when I see you. Meow. She sits, she smiles, she finishes her tea and packs up, enjoying the last of the evening's pink sun. And another interlude time here as Scotty's Symphony presents Sleep With Me's podcast's reinterpretation of Miss Shipton's Traveling Tea Shop, Episode 4, The Mentor. Meow. Our cauldron keeper is making quite a name in Talford town, though she refrains from taking much of the acclaim because she's, concerned. Some belief systems don't align with hers, and they tend to be keepers of hot air and steam out the ears, and they may find her there. In living memory, canticles were written of the miracles by certain individuals who wear the cloth. Decreed cauldron keepers the radical, directed wrath. That's why our home was put on wheels. In case some misguided mentor had a taste for zeal. Started talking about seals of 7. If good folk turned, she could scarp her, click her heels, and not return. So imagine to her surprise, when sewing our cauldron keeper spied the black shirt of a mentor in the dog collar tie. The local mentor, demeanor soft, his trousers pressed, his hair's been greased, and I'm just so sewing Not singing, but sing-song sewing. Knockety, knockety, new. Good morning, young lady. Oh man, could have used another thimble on there. Shooty, 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 shoots. Knockety, knockety, I heard some mumbling, but I didn't quite catch that. Good morning, experienced gentlemen. You could call me Rev if you want. Or Revity Rev, Levity Rev, I've gone by that, but just don't call me Mr. Rev. That's my father's name. Ha ha ha. Huh. Well, Rev supposes that you like to call someone Revity Rev or Levity Rev. That's making some presuppositions and assumptions that you have levity or reverence or you're revolutionary or you rev an engine. But I know nothing about you, so I don't want to make any assumptions. Okay. Fair enough. Still outside here. But if that's the case, I'm guessing the rumors I've heard are true. Rumors? There was a song in the 80s about rumors and how did they get started? But what rumors are you speaking of? Rumors of a cauldron keeper come to town. Oh, those rumors. Yep, those rumors. Would you like a cup of tea? You know what? I thought you'd never ask. Thank you. I'll just make myself comfortable. I'm gonna, levity can't stand always. So you're a cauldron keeper of tea. You're a tea keeper. What do you prefer? Cauldron keeper of teas, cauldron keeper with tea in the cauldron. Yes, any's fine. And were you an apprentice? Yes, I was. And your teacher? Stirring a cauldron, in the sky, figuratively, or where, I'm sure that you have a different outlook on that, but stirring a cauldron somewhere that's not here. Oh, I'm sorry. Were you too close? Very close. She was my grandmother. Or at least that's what she told me to call her. I never knew my folks, so I could never verify. Yep, my grandmother. And then, my gift, a heavy, heavy gift, and then my grandmother again. And then after she moved on, she changed as time passed and she needed, taking of care. And that wasn't easy for me or her. It's challenging. A growth opportunity, or as the Sleep Podcaster says, another, then he says fudge-flavored growth opportunity. And afterwards, it was quite a mess to clean up. If you've ever had a flavored fudge-flavored growth opportunity, they tend to be messy. I'm sorry, but this is what you wanted, right? This is what you're looking for? I'm sorry? This interview, are you looking for me to confess something? Whatever, we're getting to some kind of point? Or were you just making small talk? No. The group, shared belief system that I represent, we don't do kind of those kind of interviews. But we do speak with people in confidence, I guess. In a mentee way sometimes, but not all the time. That's why I was interested in apprenticeship as a mentor-mentee relationship. But I'm talking too much now, but perhaps this whole thing was a mistake. Perhaps it was. I mean, I should go. Your teacup is still full. That represents my labor, my materials cost. I put a lot of thought into that. Listen, I'm also, I can read, beyond, between the lines in your forehead will say, you clearly have something more to say, so go ahead and say it. I think we've gotten off on the wrong foot. I'm not here to, I'm not looking for mentees. I'm not looking for anyone to, I'm not looking to, I share my belief system, but I'm not looking for a co-share or anything like that. In fact, I did come here for a reason. I need your services. Is that there's my kettle boiling? Excuse me. Which is a sip of this stuff. What is this we're drinking? You like, it's called, mentor, tummy tum, and not in a positive way. Tummy tum, not in a surely not, no, a joke. It's a joke. We're drinking Lapsang. It's smoky. To remember the time smoke has, it could taste like, a rumor I've heard is that after people crack cauldrons, they throw them in a smoky smoke, to totally ruin them. You've heard of that, yeah? No, I was just getting started. I was actually a mentee at that point when people were cracking cauldrons and tossing them into fireplaces and stuff like that. I thought it was, said that these are expensive. These have some sort of seal on them, and they don't seem to be like, this isn't nice, and people don't want their cauldrons cracked and then broken apart. I mean, who does that? This is someone's property. Just don't drink the tea. And that wasn't the group I was a part of. My mentor, the members of our community. We try to live in acceptance of everyone. So what I do is in need of acceptance. No. Sorry. It's just, I just like trying to look for the right word. No, I don't believe that it's in acceptance. It's in acceptance, not acceptance, like acceptance, like you have faith in your cauldron, you have faith in your tea, you have enjoyment, love, competence, confidence. Just because I'm a part of a community, we don't have to, we're not the only, we can be accepted. We don't have to accept other communities. We can be accepted, I don't know, maybe my vocabulary is not broad enough to get across the kind of accepting I'm talking about. I mean, care for others, service to others, creation of things for others to enjoy or to enrich them or to help them. I mean, people will go to cauldron keepers because you're a service to them and because they felt like they weren't being served by any other communities out there. You aligned with their needs or their belief systems, or they believed in you, and then they believed in the cauldron you're keeping because of your confidence, your competence, your love of keeping of your cauldron. So maybe that was a failing of our acceptance, the original acceptance you took exception to, it was our failing, and I mean our community's failing in that acceptance. And I guess they, instead of facing that, maybe it was almost like your cauldrons were a mirror, and they didn't like what they saw in the mirror, so they broke the mirror instead of realizing they were looking in the mirror. Listen, I mean, there was a woman I loved, and, yeah, I mean, really loved, deeply loved, and, yeah, her cauldron got broke. She moved away. I mean, she felt a lot of strong feelings about why would I want to be a part of a community that would break my cauldron. And she left, and, yeah, and yeah, it's tough. And I never told that to anybody else in my entire life. Well, I don't know if you're looking for some sort of acceptance, recompense, forgiveness, or whatever, but I don't think you're in the right place. I don't think you'll find that in this cauldron. I know. But you are heard. Let's take out a comfort stick or two. Would you like one? Are you sure I couldn't offer you a glass of tummy tum tum trouble? No, thank you. And thanks for the tea. Yeah, I guess I will take one of those comfort sticks. No, there's no sugar left. Meow. The mentor, misguided mentor, was quiet. Meow. They drank in silence until all that was left were the dregs in their teacups, and a few more drags on their comfort sticks. And now, meow, is the end of the regular episode, meow, of the Sleep With Me version of Miss Shipton's meow. But there will be an extended version, meow, and the link for it will be in the show notes, where you could check out the rest of this version of Miss Shipton's, as well as the original version, maybe even more versions of it for your daytime and your nighttime consumption. There'll be more meows. Good night, everybody. All right, everybody. Hey, Scoots here with a tuck you in message, and you'll hear it on the pre-rolls. Hopefully a fun game show version of this, and then the mid-rolls, a shorter version. But this is kind of like a message, decided to try to change the direction of things. And I've tried to be clear about this, but I want to be as clear as possible and do it in the spirit of sleepy joy and delight. So I'm going to run through, we've been talking about super listeners and supporting the show, but I want to be really specific about who does not need to support the show or even think about it kind of thing. Like, you don't need to support the show if kind of, but real, like this is real, like, in the sense, if you happen to be listening to this right now, if, and sometimes I realize my stress or my feelings around the sustainability podcast can leak through, right? And impact people inadvertently, and make you feel some kind of way. And I have to kind of, or I want to right now take a, more active, caring hand in that. So if a part of you does speak up, and after I run through all this, and I'll be running through it, and maybe this will be the new direction we take things, when that part of you speaks up, say, no, Scoot says he said he's not talking to me. If that part of you tries to make, because I have that part of me very strong in me, that makes you want to feel a word that sounds like Shane or Pilt, or any of that kind of stuff. So this one is a post-roll, tuck you on post-roll. So I'll run through it slowly. But I do have it in front of me, so I'll also be trying to read. One, if you happen to be listening to this, if you're a new listener or you, like you're a person who's only listens once in a while, right? You've only been listening less than 6 months. You don't need to support the show or even think about supporting the show. If you're not in a position to support the show, whether it's financial or you just don't, you're not interested in supporting the show, like, you don't need to support the show. Don't worry. Like, it's great news that I want to be as clear. And also, I guess in this post roll, I can't be sleepy, joy, and delightful except like that. It's good news. You do not need to support the show. I mean, we still have to put those messages out there and stuff like that, but it doesn't. If you can't afford to support the show, you're not interested, or you're new, you don't need to, right? And you could say it to yourself if that comes up in those messages, because we still do have to ask, right? But we're not asking you. So you can say, Scoots isn't asking me. Like, the good news or the great news is like returning this thing. So you're welcome here. And yeah, I guess I'm not guessing. It's not a great time to apologize, but it's like, me. When I get me trying to, I had to find my way to this, right? Of, hey, I guess I guess I do need to apologize because I had to find my way here. Of like, I don't want to put those feelings on people that you can't support the show. You're not interested in supporting the show. If you're new, don't worry about it. And the thing is, because there are listeners who do care, I care and listeners care. And those are the people that support the show. And I've gotten enough messages. We did something with Sleep With Me Plus where people said, yeah, I support the show, not just for me. And they want the podcast to be there for you. Like this is real, that they care. And that we're holding you, that the podcast in this quest to make sure Sleep With Me will be around, for you. So again, I think the tool in this example is like, hey, Scoots isn't talking to me. And by the way, other listeners have said explicitly they have me. I guess this is more apply, new listener, you're kind of come from a place, why would I support a podcast that I'm new to, right? So if you just happen to be listening, this is more of the people in those other places, that it's okay. It's more than okay to be in those places. And that I've actually been in those places too. And now the other side of it is, I'm going to run through everything, but yeah, if you're not in those groups, right. And you say, well, I didn't realize that, I want to be the one providing comfort, supporting comfort. I want to be a part of this thing for those people you're talking about and whoever you're talking about coming up. You could join us. So I'd love it. But not if you're not in a position to support the show or a place where you'd want to support the show or you're new. Also, the other group I'll talk about now that I was going to record last is if it the idea of supporting the podcast, or changing how you do things, or taking those steps or whatever takes away from the show, right? You don't need to support the show. If it stressses you out, thinking about going through the steps to support the show, or it just seems here's the thing. I think I even put this in some of this. If it's Scoots, that's just too much to ask me right now. I'm not asking you. It is the truth. I'm asking someone else. It's too much for me right now, Scoots. I don't know if I'm in those two groups, but it just feels like too much, or it's not the right time. I see you and I hear you. And and you can say to that party that says Scoots is talking to you, and no, he's not. He said it explicitly. If you say in your head, no, it's too much to have, that's just too much for me. can't see myself doing that. It's just outside of believe me, again, I'm not saying this, I'm saying it because I can relate to, I've been in those places, or I continue to be in those places in different aspects of my life. So I can relate, and I'm saying it clearly now, as clearly as I can. Like, when I'm asking for support of the show, I'm not asking you to support the show. It's okay. We have you. This isn't a bit or like a reverse thing. It's the truth. Like, you okay? So I just want to rest with that one. Now, the next two groups are probably not listening right now, but just in case you are, and it's funny, I'm trying to figure out how to word it, like in the mid-roll and the pre-roll. But if you're a regular or average, I realize no one's average that listens to the show, but the way most people listen to the show is what I'm using as an average. And here's the thing. If you're like most listeners, you listen to the show while you're going through a tough time, right? Whether it's different phases or seasons of your life, and maybe you listen for a couple months at a time, and maybe during those months you listen to 2 episodes a week, maybe you listen to more episodes a week. But you use Sleep With Me like a tool when you need it every couple of years, because what I've seen happen is like people getting through high school, then getting into or through those tough times in college, then their first job, and getting used to that, then their next phases of their life, and then their first baby, or other phases of life that come on us unexpectedly that we're not quite ready for, and we need some ease and comfort in the deep, dark night, and you just come and go when you need the show. You're actually covered by the sponsors and the listener support, because you listen, you start the show, you wind down during the intro, and then you fall asleep during the story, and the episode stops playing at the end of the episode, or you're in one of those small groups that uses a sleep timer. That's a one group that, right, and most of you don't mind the ads at all, and because the ads, that's the main, like that kind of listening is what the sponsors cover, right? And maybe you check out the sponsors, maybe you don't, or maybe you're like, yeah, I'm totally fine with the ads, or you say, well, I realize that, or whatever, a lot of work goes in the show. The ads are necessary. A lot of people love the ads, but some people might be like, well, yeah, it's necessary. I get it. Especially for that kind of listening. You don't need to support the show if you're just listening during these phases of life for a few months at a time. Again, we have you covered. Now, if those changes in your life are big enough that you want to support the show during that time, that's fine. Or you want to you can support the show with one-time support on Sleep With Me Plus if you scroll down. But you don't need to, and you don't need to feel like, don't get caught up in like I can't, there's no way for me to target the ads to like just super listeners, right? Who are in a place to support the show. So I just have to ask on every episode to get through to the people that are in a place. But yeah, if you only listen once in a while when things are tough or when you need the show or it's baffling, you say, okay, I got Sleep With Me. I'll listen to that this week, or this month, or even these 6 months. We've got you. You do not need to support the show like we have you. So those are some of the people I wanted to get through to. And then again, if you say, I'm not in those groups, and you're just curious, but you say, wow, it would sound, if again, this is only for people not in those groups. If you say, I want to be a part of this thing, I want to be a part of I want to send comfort across the deep, dark night to all those groups of people you just mentioned. I mean, there's people like dealing with loss, dealing with their first child, their first job, being out on their own for the first time, a big exam, a big life change, people who would love to support the show but just can't, it's just not possible for them one way or the other. People that love the podcast so much, they get so much out of it, and new listeners who this podcast might change their life yeah, I want to be a part of that. Like, I would miss the show if it was gone for me and for those people, because I'm not in any of those groups really, or I'm not sure. Maybe, if you're sure, then think about supporting the show on Sleep With Me Plus. But if you're not sure, I wouldn't do it. Like, I'm kind of in one of those groups. Sounds like a bit much for me. Don't worry about it. We got you. But if you want to be a part of this thing and you're not in those groups, that's who I'm trying to get through to. And it is like, I wish there was maybe one day, years from now, I don't think there'll be the technology to do that just because Sleep With Me is so unique. But I want to try to be as clear as I can and as caring as I can, because my joy is to keep this podcast going for everybody and to bring sleepy joy and delight. And sometimes I've felt like in the past, I'm like, how are these things feel like they're in opposition? How can I bring them into unity? And so this is an experiment, which I hope works, and I hope helps us bring things back into unity. So thanks. This is good news. It's good news. We've got you. And you can say to that voice, Scoots isn't talking to me. He's talking to another listener, not to me. So I'm going to listen to the show. This show's for me. This is like, it's not so much as a gift as like the collective goodwill of all of us kind of, I don't know. So thanks.